Hey SIA, how you doing? Test number 40. How much original text is required for a page to be considered unique? If you've ever heard me mention a certain percentage when I'm talking about creating unique pages on multiple websites about the same topic, this is the test that derived it. So let's get into it. All right, so I want to be a little bit clear here. First off, I'm not talking about you have one location and then you open up three more locations, so you create three location pages. And in that case, you can actually use damn near duplicate the exact same piece of content to just change the locations. Modify the page so it fits to that location. Dallas versus Houston versus Austin, for example, and that's totally fine and it's acceptable within the local business space in search because Google understands that a plumber is a plumber is a plumber is a plumber. And more often than not, you're not going to talk about different things just because you have different businesses or different franchises across the country or whatever. So they expect to see pretty much the same thing. Totally fine. This is a case where you want to use or leverage content that you've had written for your money site, and you want to put it on different places. But you want to be careful about not triggering the duplicate content algorithm. So, as an example, let's say you syndicate a full piece of your content onto a site that has more authority than you. Your site gets taken off, and that authority site comes on, and that's not what you want to do. You want to actually, write one piece of content and then uniqueify it. I invented the word today. Uniqueify that content and put it on, four or five different sites, and then rank all of those pages with that unique content, and take over a SERP result. That's probably the best way to leverage this, especially if you have access to multiple high authority sites that can allow you to pull that off in the market. So what you want to know is what is unique. Like how much of my article do I have to change? And if you've ever watched me on videos before and I talk about uniqueness, 51% is pretty much the number that I go after, and it's from this test. Now this test showed that 33% unique versus 66% duplicate. It was considered duplicate content by Google. 40 to 60 was considered duplicate content by Google. It wasn't until we hit 50-50 that it was actually kind of considered unique. So that's why I use the 51%. I've used that 51% recommendation ever since this test, and this test was in 2016. So that's how long it has still gone on. And it's been a very effective policy for me. And really, when I use this the most is when I'm doing launch jacking stuff, and you have a Medium, and you have a couple of other websites and your own website. You can actually jump or three or four opportunities to get into the launch jack phase of SEO. That way, if one of those fails, you got a couple more to lean back on and get. So you hit the 50-50, and you do the 51. All of those will get indexed. They're all unique. They all have great copy. They all lead to your shopping cart or your affiliate link, which is what you want them to do in the first place. So you can get some benefit out of it. Typically, I wouldn't even worry about this if you're on your own site. In that case, if you are targeting multiple pages on your own site for the same keyword, don't do any more than one copy or one additional page, because the rest of those are going to get filtered out, and more than likely you're going to end up filtering out your the page that you really want to rank for pages that come up later in a freshness perspective. So Google might get rid of those, or if your SEO is better, or maybe even your keyword density is better. So typically one keyword and one keyword cluster per page is where I leave it, and you don't want to make a whole bunch of those on your website for the same keywords, the same keyword clusters, because you'll inevitably create keyword cannibalization. So this is really used for if you want to create multiple pages on different domains and take over a SERP result. That's when this is useful. Otherwise, for the most part, I think you're pretty safe from duplicate content. There are instances where duplicate content can actually get you in trouble. There are negative SEO campaigns that are created that you can buy a whole bunch of domains and then copy your content over and over and over again, and it'll eventually remove the Google will especially if they link to it, Google will turn off or drop your page. They won't necessarily rank the pages that are linking to you. As a matter of fact, as everyone that I've seen, they did not, but they did devalue the site that was under the attack. In particular, the page that was under attack. Even though you have canonical set, you're doing all the right things, you can get this negative SEO campaign that ultimately just kind of hurts you in the long run. So negative SEO is real, and they can use duplicate content to do it. And it's actually really crazy, surprisingly effective, regardless of what people tell you that it doesn't have any effect. There is a negative effect to this, and it is something that Google has not adapted to because, frankly, it's kind of hard, How do you punish and who gets the first rights credits and all that stuff? That's a little hard to figure out for Google, and so that's something that you as webmasters, business owners need to be cognizant of. If you see rankings drops, check your link profiles and see if some people are duplicating your content and linking back to your page in some half-hearted effort to create a mass site or something like that that may be harming you in the long run. So hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed this, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.